Hey guys, welcome back to our review of Star Trek Picard Season 3, this time Episode 6, The Bounty, which refers to a very valuable surprise and a huge retcon of a decision that they made earlier in the season. And honestly, this episode is filled with a lot of sort of retcons and, hey, we wrote it a certain way in Season 1, 2, and yeah, we don't like it either. So we're going to throw it out. And I'm like, yes, okay, I'm down for it. And while there were a few, flaws in logic, more so, you can see some of the weak writing. I did ultimately like the episode. I became engaged in it, somewhere halfway through. And finally, by the end of episode 6, we are pretty much practically got the whole cast and crew back together from TNG. Pretty much everybody is featured here in some way, except for, I don't know, what is Wesley and maybe Yar. Just a few characters left. Guinan, but no, she's been in other episodes, previous seasons. So we got the whole cast back together. We kind of learn a little bit more about what's going on with Jack, but yet even more new mysteries are added to the mix. I'm still trying to find out the ultimate goal of this changeling plan, and I still find myself confounded and stupefied by Starfleet's behavior and plans. But ultimately, I did enjoy the episode. What did you think? Let's go, Alex.
Yeah, I liked it. There's a lot of dumb that it's just like residual dumb from previous seasons. It's hard to like wipe the stink away, and like you bring characters back that you previously got rid of, and you do other things, and it's like it's hard for me to watch when they make important decisions because I just feel like they're not important anymore because they're just going to retcon them when it's convenient for them or inconvenient. So it's like part of me appreciates it, and part of it's like, come on, you can't just unkill people over and over and over again and have it still mean something as much to me as it would. But I think this is good stuff. There's no B plot we're switching to. Everyone's all on the same thing, and I think it really strengthens the show because I just didn't think that their other storylines were working. So it's good to see everyone kind of together in their own little same space, and I think things are fleshed out for the most part. And other some like nitpicks and some weirdness here and there, I liked it. Joe.
I thought it was fine. Little heist, but again, like I guess it hits you.
Probably the worst heist I've ever seen.
Oh, it's
yeah,
terrible.
this was like
this
it
is
was
supposed
fun.
to be the
not
most
a lot of tension. Like I guess it hits you guys
station,
with the
not really.
It hits you guys with the member berries, but I'm just like.
Oh yeah,
it didn't affect me as much. It's like, oh,
berries.
this person, this is like, okay.
This is the huge Easter egg member berries episode.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it very much.
That's what it's like. It was catered more to you guys.
Right.
I
You
just
didn't
thought
write.
it was,
You're like,
I was
what
like,
is
all
that?
right, well, this is fine. This is what's going on. This is the plot for today.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I get along with it, but
all right.
meh.
Okay. How do you feel about where we're at now and the ending of the episode?
I think this should have happened way before instead of we're on 6, right?
Yeah.
This should have been
6,
happened like a long time ago. Get everyone on the ship and have the main plot.
Yeah, everybody but Riker. Darn it! You were saying that.
Man, I would have given Ralphie some points. It's like, all right. You guys go.
I'll stay behind.
I'll stay behind.
I'd have been like, Raph, you know what? I forgive you if you sacrifice your life.
We'll save it later.
So that Riker can make it back to the ship. But unfortunately, of the 3 left behind, Riker is left behind, rather, and lets the other 3 escape from the Daystrom station. Darn it.
But I guess they just want to do that because he's like, all right, he's a valued asset as opposed to the other one. It's like, oh, we forgot. Do we need to save
Very
someone?
good, very good. Nah, we don't need to save, but since it's Riker, they're like, all right, I got to save. Looks like Worf is going to be in charge of making sure that Riker comes back. And I enjoyed seeing Riker and Worf again. They usually poke at each other, but Worf here is a changed man, so he's not doing a lot of poking back. And I'm rolling my eyes. He's like, you must know.
I'm a pacifist.
I'm a pacifist now. And I'm like, bullshit. You've been more aggressive and more killy than you ever been. All right, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, it's dumb. Like, I don't know whose decision it was. I know they said they wanted the actors to have some input, and I really don't like this change.
Maybe that
was. I don't think it's fun. I don't think it adds a whole lot here. And then because you can't say like I'm a pacifist, and he chops the head off an unarmed Ferengi that's not a threat.
Yeah.
And then he's like, be it man, god, or beast, I will violently murder the fuck out of anything that is in my way with Riker, and I will. And it's like you can't be a pacifist sage guy in one scene.
He's not a pacifist. Shut the fuck up. You're right. He's talking exactly like he's always talked.
Yeah. So it's kind of silly.
I guess he gets passionate about his friends, Alex. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Or a Klingon version of pacifist is wildly different. It's like Klingon pacifists still murder people, but it's only...
Play your own devil's advocate. That's better.
Yeah.
So... Well, ultimate, no real Rafi. I mean, there's no real Rafi section here. Actually, there's somewhat, but it's supported by connecting to the greater cast. Worf mostly, and a new big reveal. Data. Got to talk about this. So, there's two retcons, but we'll talk about Data first. Then, so Data has died. I was like, wait a minute, that can't be. Why are they talking like, he's whistling? So, I guess I'll back up a little bit more, and I'll say the use of Moriarty. So, before the season started, I thought we were going to get Moriarty. I thought we were going to get Lore as some villains, right? Maybe the Changelings are using these guys, but it turns out that Moriarty's cameo is rather disappointing.
I was gonna say, I guess, I don't know him that much, but it just felt like wasted.
It is wasted. It's hugely wasted. He was one of the cool villains from, he's a holodeck, entity, and but in this instance, he brings out a gun, he starts firing, he's like missing, and we're like, how is a hologram missing from 2 feet away? Well, it is explained where it's really not more. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Data is controlling him, and it's more like that. He didn't want to kill us. He wants to, talk to us or whatever. And it is Data, but it's not really Data. It's a new android synthetic body that Dr. Soong created, M12 or something like that. And right next to M12, you've got the recovered parts of B4. You've got the positronic brain pieces of Lore. You've got Data, who was copied onto B4 somewhere. So, and then they even throw in Lol, which is the daughter kind of thing that Data creates. So it's basically all of the Data related characters into one character, given more humanity, given the aesthetic of old age, right? It's because the actor is aging, and given the aesthetic of old age to match all of his friends. So that's how we get Data back. What do you think, Joe? You're laughing.
Is again, it's just. I guess it just impacted you guys more because it's like, that's a cool character, but at the same time, they wasted it.
Yeah.
Because I felt like the guy was like, all right, this guy's like a mastermind. What are they gonna do? Oh, he's a hologram. He's gone.
Yeah, the Moriarty.
All you had to say was "Pop goes the weasel," and he went away.
Yeah.
So they do the whistle. I like the cut scenes from in the past, young Riker, and you could say, man, everything is bright, filmed really nice, camera quality is good. I can see shit. It's like, yeah, that's a better direction. But anyways, he completes the song, and Moriarty, who is also Data /B4 / all these characters, the song is irritating him, and, it's because when Riker was, looking for Data, or he's trying to whistle, Data doesn't know how to whistle, and he's like, marvelous, or, fascinating, and that kind of thing. And so he lets his guard down, essentially, and that was basically a Moriarty cameo. And the way to bring Data back. So, okay, I'll give you my opinion on it as far as bringing Data back. Look, I liked and disliked Data dying. Because Data is one of my favorite characters of all time. You know what I mean? Not just Star Trek, but of all time, Joe. And you will grow to love Data if you ever watch TNG. So I didn't want him to die. I didn't even want that, right? But the way they did it, I thought, okay, I guess it's done all right. So my fan side is like, yes, Data's back. Hated his death in the fucking movie because he died in the movie, and that's why Picard says I've seen him die twice. We saw him die in the movie, and then he saw him die in Picard season. And so I kind of wanted it to come back.
He's like an android, though, right?
I'm of two minds. Yes,
Okay,
that's
so-
how he was being put into B4, the
Okay,
pieces
yeah.
of B4.
That's just like,
and that's
can
how
he really die?
you can move. Yeah, you're right.
You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
rebuild
You're
him.
right, Joe. You can move around the data. It's
Yeah.
data. Move the data around.
As long as the chip's still
Now,
fine.
so that's my opinion. I'm of two minds. Let's talk to Alex. What do you think of this retcon of bringing data back?
No, fuck that. I think that everything handled at Daystrom was poor. Other than, actually, this is the first time that I didn't hate Rafi. I think she was a crew member that fit in, and I want to give them the credit. I don't want to forget about this. I did not hate Rafi when Rafi was just a person in the crew, and they weren't holding her up in front of the camera.
Right,
and go,
she didn't announce that she was a badass every time she entered the fucking room.
This is how you do it. This is how you write the character, and I think that you'll get other people to not like to appreciate it.
I would have given her a point.
Yeah, giant wasted
I would have given
opportunity.
her 2 points.
With Moriarty, awful, like fucking awful. And honestly, I think that one of the only things that got me emotionally in season 1 of Picard was the Data death. And it's like I didn't want Data to die because I absolutely love that character as well. And even if it's abusing music and just abusing all of the nostalgia, that was the only thing that made me feel anything in season 1.
You're right.
And so for them to erase the only bright part of season 1 here and not do like they could have had, if you want Brett back, have him be fucking lore. I mean, true fucking lore.
Yeah, that would have. I like that.
Because then you have to overcome some things and you have to get him over to your side.
Vegeta.
And then there's some cool stuff that you can do with that. Like I don't like this. I think it's a shitty thing to do. I
still need to think about it. We just watched it 5 minutes ago. You know you don't like it.
I've hated it. I think it's
I'm on the verge of two minds. Joe, you don't care.
No.
Okay.
No, I really don't like it. I don't think that there's a point to it. It doesn't. There could have been conflict. I think when we watched the teasers and they show the characters and we're like, oh my god, all the things that they could do, and then they chose to do literally none of them.
They chose to do all of them, Alex.
Well, they did none of them with Moriarty, right? So all of it's fucking dumb, and we're like, oh man, because is this lore? Like, what are they gonna do here? And they're just like, no, Data's back, and he'll have like.
Wait, I don't get the rematch of like Data going up again or lore going up again. Them using lore to take out Moriarty or
Moriarty
vice
to take
versa.
on lore or something. Like, something interesting. And so it's like I don't
disappointing.
Like. Yeah, so I'm not for me.
So so with that, we also get a retcon when they're beamed over. So Starfleet is hot on their trail. They manage to get Data and beam him back. I'm just going to refer to him as Data from now on, okay? And they beam him back, and we have a meeting between Worf and the crew, and they're happy to see him. And then there's Rafi, and Rafi goes, "Hey, you." That's all she says to Nine. And then later on, they have this awkward moment because you know that one time that we forced a relationship between these two. It came out of nowhere at the end of the last 10 minutes of the end of one season, just so they could kind of throw it away in the next. They knew they immediately fucked up because it was completely forced. So they retcon their relationship. Nope, they're broken up. That never happened. Worf makes a joke about it. It's a good joke. And then that's it.
Yep.
I hope they don't fucking
They don't bring that
continue
up
this
again.
stupid teasing.
I hope
Will
not
they,
either.
won't they bullshit. In fact, Jack's character kind of gets somewhat of, love interest or endearment towards some of the female crew members. He's got a little thing maybe going on with Geordi LaForge's daughter, one of them, the pilot version. There's also a great moment with Seven, maybe. He's endearing himself to Seven. And I think Jack's really earning a spot here as
he is. He's a
Picard's
great
son.
actor.
And
I like
he's
him.
a great actor. Just love his facial expressions, his voice. I wouldn't mind seeing a spin-off series with this guy and maybe some of these classic characters like Nine. Him and Nine, I think, could work. But as far so you have those two moments which were mixed at best. Even I'm mixed on the Data thing, and then I just laugh at the fact that they're like, yeah, they're broken up now. That never happened with Seven and Rafi. But there were emotional moments that did resonate with me, particularly because I am a fan of Voyager. I absolutely loved the moment that Seven is talking about the Voyager and how, it's basically her home and her family, and when she was incorporated by the Borg and then rescued, it almost brought me to tears. And I was like, man, this is how it did. This small 2-minute, 37-second scene has more emotion behind it than the entirety of season 1, season 2. I'm like, this is how it's done. So you get these moments where the writers are hitting in on all cylinders. Was there other moments like that? LaForge, in the promos looked like he was mad at Picard. It's, he's obviously a part of still Starfleet, so he's of two minds. I want to help you, but I want to protect my daughters. I'm trying to think of some other really good. There's a tender moment. Jack and Picard have some scenes where we finally learn what's up with Jack. And it's honestly a little disappointing and maybe a fake out. They look at his brain and they say, oh, you have the same flaws that Picard has, this rare disease of the brain. Picard passed it down to you. So, I don't know. Maybe legit, maybe not, because, I don't know, we never saw Picard have these types of visions and tying it into
he's like, how did you fix it?
Things.
Like, I'm a robot now.
Yeah, I did it and I died. It killed me. And he's like, oh, thanks,
That's
Dad.
right.
I'm okay. I'm dead now, too. But then after we have some more scenes, he says, you know what? All these great traits I have is from my mom. And all right, I got some good ones from you too, and makes Picard feel good because Picard, he cares about his legacy and he wants to pass on, and so there's some good moments there as well. So I liked parts of it. I felt other parts were, a little bit of a letdown, but overall, I liked it. And then all the member berries and the, Easter eggs kind of got me. There's some confusing ones in there that we'll talk about. But let's go ahead and go with final verdicts on episode 6.
Go ahead, Alex.
I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. I really liked so much of this episode. I can't help but think that they kind of dropped the ball with some of the more interesting things that they teased in the trailers. And it's just kind of unfortunate. Also, the whole bringing back characters that we've killed, not in previous movies, but in this series itself, kind of like it felt really lazy. Mm-hmm. And I just can't help but see... it's the unrealized potential. Mm-hmm. There's also some kind of dumb shit that, as far as like the conversations that happen throughout the story. But I think this is a good episode.
We'll get to the dumb shit here.
Yeah, I think this is a good episode. And I think if you're a giant fan of Star Trek like I am, it is really hard, even if you're a giant cynic and you don't want to like it, to not just go, oh, that's kind of cool. That's really cool here. And so that kind of, it washes over you. And so I've got a little bit of that here for sure, but still think it's a solid episode.
Okay.
I think it's a 6. I don't have the background as much as you guys. Not a lot of stuff for me that wasn't intense. I do like some of the conversation between the crew, getting the band back together. I remember some of them watching a couple episodes late at night, but not really like you guys. But the way I hear you guys and Red Letter Media talk about Moriarty, I was like, oh, that's going to be cool. I was like, that's going to be cool. Yeah. And y'all had high hope for it, and then...
There's no doubt that's a disappointment. Yeah.
It's like, so that's it?
So for Joe, it's the old guy that showed up, fired a fucking pistol that didn't even hit him.
He's like, oh, you're the villain. It's like, oh, I'm much more than the villain. I was like, oh, okay, this could be interesting. And he's gone. So it's like, okay, so now it's just the changelings.
Yeah.
So we don't really know what
no lore, Moriarty.
They stole his body, and I don't know what the fuck they can do with it. But.
So that's the big reveal. There's 2 big reveals at the end of the episode. So 6 out of 10.
Yeah, 6 for me.
Let's talk about that real quick before I give my rating. Alex, what did the changelings ultimately steal?
Skin and bones, and because they wanted Picard's. They wanted his body, which is weird. That they're just saving old dudes' bodies in a space station for no reason. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Did you see James T. Kirk, Joe? Oh. His body is in.
I saw the screen.
They're saving his body for no apparent reason. Maybe a future plot thread with a spinoff. Somebody's gonna revive his fucking DNA, and he's gonna come back as a young Kirk. I don't know. I guess he's so valuable, you just save bodies. Same thing with Picard. I guess they save all of the bodies of their best captains. Like, who gets picked? Like, are there other captains that have died that they're keeping in the station that we don't know about?
Well, Picard didn't even know, so I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah,
He's like, wait, they have a body in there?
He wakes up next to his corpse, and he goes, I'm gonna donate that to Starfleet. He's like, no, man, cremate me or do something. But like, it was very weird, and I don't like what they're doing.
And then the other reveal is, God, I love Riker. He is just pitch fucking perfect. He's like, you think I'm gonna fight? You know, so they capture him. Turns out a changeling was able to infiltrate the squad that's trying to get him to talk. He murders the other Starfleet officers and shapeshifts into Vatic. And she's like, yay! Yes. Where is Picard? She never says the D.
She doesn't.
She doesn't say the D.
You don't want the D.
And then she transports him over to her ship, which conspicuously all the Starfleet ships have left the sector. Like, weren't they just patrolling that area? But she's just hanging out.
Changelings have infiltrated all of Starfleet, including the security.
So they told them to leave, and they left. And so her ship is perfectly fine there. And then she leaves. She takes him to a chair. He's like, you think I'm gonna, fucking tell you shit about my friends after all that I've been through, and just for you? It's just not for me, for your wife. And I was like, oh shit, she got him, because Riker is like, if he's gonna do anything, it's gonna be for his wife. Anyway, so that's it. So my rating is also a 7 out of 10. I thought it was a solid episode, a good season. There, it's a few misses. I think a miss on Moriarty, miss on some of the convenience and the writing, a little bit of tropiness there. I'm not sure how I feel about the combined data. We'll call it golem data. I hate that fucking word.
Data lore.
The golem. I created my golem. Yeah, data lore.
Data lore.
All right, data lore. Something like that. But then you have to factor in lol and before, and sung, which I guess sung is just another word for M14, which is the body that Sung created for that. Anyways, we'll see as we're moving forward. This is a way to get the original cast back together. So ultimately, I think in the end, I'm like, yes, we just got to get Riker and Troy back, and let's see what the fuck we're going to do here in these last 4 episodes. I am excited for the future. I'm curious how they end it. So 7 out of 10.
I want them to continue this and have Ralphie, like I said, just in the crew. That's it.
Just on the crew and no more. We've given Ralphie a lot of shit when she deserves it. But as Alex said, not as annoying here, right? Yeah. She doesn't fucking announce herself as a badass every 5 seconds in this episode. And so that's why, whereas I actually think, I was harder on the last episode. A lot of people really like the Ro part, and I do too. The problem is that at last episode with Ro's death and all that stuff on the ship is just one half of it. The other half was the stupid fucking Romulan thief, Rafi war fight, right? So even though the Ro part was probably better in this episode, but that episode had 2 parts. And so the Rafi stuff in this episode is much better, along with the Starfleet stuff, which, in comparison to the last episode is good, but not as good as the last one. But overall, that's what brings this one up to a 7 out of 10. So let's get into the episode breakdown for episode 6. So we begin with learning that Jack has the same condition as Picard. I don't quite buy it. Do you guys buy that?
Yeah.
That is the reason why he's having visions?
Oh, not that it has visions, but I mean, I get that he passed down the
No, I get that as well. I'm just saying that I think the show's trying to say, that, don't forget about that. That's just,
Yeah, I don't like it either. I always don't like there's secret blood magic, and there's the Chosen One syndrome.
The big question is, why do they want Picard's body? Alex, can you think of anything?
Yeah, I think they may be going for like the mystical bullshit part of Star Trek that I despise, where there's something special about his body. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping it's just like, hey, we just need to changeling him, and so. But I really hope that there's not something special about him.
Right.
That
there has to be, Alex. Otherwise, they wouldn't grab the body. The only thing I can think of where they teased in this season. Why were they talking so much about Locutus of Borg? Maybe he still has some Borg parts, but that doesn't really factor into changelings.
Or Jack.
We're not really talking about Borg. We're not really talking about Jack. Yeah, we're talking about genetics, DNA. There was a fucking red herring of the blade that Vatic uses. being Shinzon's blade, and Shinzon Joe, if you don't know, is that young Picard, that young bald kid, who that's Tom Hardy. Holy shit. Joe, you wanna see Tom Hardy that looks nothing like Tom Hardy when he's like a kid? He's playing Picard. Tom Hardy has played a clone Picard. So maybe they're doing something with, they're going to resurrect an evil Picard, but we already did that too. And I don't know. And it's going to factor in maybe into the parade. This is I am fascinated. I need to know. It better be fucking good.
I think there's a fork in the road, and I think I'm fascinated by half of it, and I'm going to fucking hate the other half, and I'm worried. I don't know which way it's going to go, and I'm just going to have to give him the benefit of the doubt. It's like, let's go.
So you can see the retconning things. Do you think by the end they somehow get the body and then they reanimate him into his own body so he's no longer the stupid positronic?
We had a perfect opportunity with Q. The very last
changeling pool heals his body. No,
Q could have just snapped his fingers and said, "My last parting gift for you is to give you your humanity because you're special as a human, not as a positronic fucking robot." And then they skipped over that part. So
damn it, Alex, that's good writing. We don't accept that here.
Yeah, so I don't fucking know.
I don't know either. Joe, give us your best guess on what they're gonna do with Picard's old, rotting body.
Shit, I don't know.
No, I want a best guess.
All right. The visions, something about the visions. Maybe they're going to do something. It's like, all right, well, because Jack's having those visions, it's due to
but what about Picard's body?
They're going to take his brain.
They're going to take his brain.
They're going to take his brain.
Because they say, oh, this brain is related to Jack's brain, so maybe we'll just use this brain.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so moving on, Worf beams over. He gets a warm reception, and Rafi says, hey, to Seven. And, and then we get the scene where, and I love he's not a hugger, and it's just great. Then we talk about the dangerous break-in mission, Datestrom. It's the most secure station and secretive station in all of Starfleet, and yet later on when we go into it, it's a room, and they walk. And then they take a data card, they pull out one data card and put in another data card. Hello, would you like some drinks? What? And that data card is accessible to the public. There's just a panel that you can put the card in. I'm like, this is the greatest security system of all time in Starfleet.
That was like super simple. It was like, what?
Oh my God.
They just phased in, they had the chip. The alarm went off for
like
2 seconds.
from the Romulan.
Went off for 2 seconds.
Right.
But nobody said anything.
Oh, so stupid. Okay. Anyway, and then we confirm that Rafi and Seven have in fact broken up. Good, because these two had no setup, no chemistry, no nothing. So now she's free. I don't know if they're setting up potential relationship between Jack and Seven, or Jack and LaForge.
Rafi and
that's what the Star Trek people on Reddit wanted. They're like, oh, there's so much sexual chemistry between Worf and Rafi, and I can't wait to see maybe that's a spin-off, and there's a will they won't they, and it's like,
I'm ashamed of other Star Trek fans in my group here.
That's a fan fiction.
All
somewhere.
right, man, y'all do whatever y'all want to do.
That's where it came from. Star Trek, by the way.
So
it is.
You should know.
Interesting.
And then that's when he says, "You should know. I prefer pacifism." And I'm like, bullshit. And Riker's like, bullshit. He's like, no, what's wrong with you? And he's like, I don't even recognize, I don't want to live in this world anymore. So I like that. I'm like, yes, Riker, you're the best. And then the company shows up with new weapons. Starfleet shows up with new weapons. Somehow the lasers are infused with tracking the energy. They'll be able to track you across the galaxy if they shoot at you with these lasers. Okay, Star Trek-y, I guess, but whatever, dumb as fuck. So they're like, okay, we got to get out of here. And they start taking off, and then they fire the lasers at them, and they miss.
Yeah. They're locked on.
And the phaser lock.
Weapons lock achieved.
Captain, we need to go.
You obtain phaser lock before you fire. But it was just because I guess LaForge is really good, and the Titan is very maneuverable. So she
did 360.
All she did, she said dodge.
She did a barrel roll.
Did a barrel roll.
Yeah, dodge.
So they don't get hit by any of the tracker laser beams or phasers, and they unfortunately leave the team behind. The team is left behind on the station, and they go off to Ethan Prime, which is the Fleet Museum, and we get the motherfucking Easter egg section of this episode. That it got me. Maybe I gave it extra points for it. So we get 2 sections of Easter eggs. First, the crew on the Daystrom sees the Genesis device. Joe, you remember the Genesis device? Okay. You still haven't watched Wrath of Khan, Joe. Go home and watch Wrath of Khan. Okay? And then we see, what else do we see? We see the body of Kirk. Why we needed to throw that in there, I don't fucking know. Maybe to appease William Shatner. It's like, you guys never use me.
Why are we saving their bodies?
Because
then the furry things, right?
Yes, the furry things.
That's
They're
like one of the
called
first,
tribbles,
the originals.
Joe.
Yeah, I remember that episode.
You do remember tribbles.
Yeah, they were
Okay,
like
cool.
fucking everywhere.
Yeah, but they were cute.
Not this one.
This one, well, it says genetically modified, and it is a fucking nightmare.
I do remember that.
It's an attack one.
You do remember what?
That one, the fluffy thing.
Yeah, the fluffy things. Yes, the tribbles. In fact, in the Risk board game that I have for Star Trek, they come with these little furry tribble things, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Haven't played that one yet because we've already ruined our friendship so many times.
Risk is not that great.
Had to put Risk on there. I know we've graduated from Risk, but don't shit on Risk. Risk is a good entry game if you want to play with your younger friends, cousins, things. That'll get them into board games. Got me into board games. Anyways, so then back on the Fleet Museum, we get the fucking cool ships. We see, what do we see, Alex?
Voyager.
We see Voyager. We see Defiance. We see a New Jersey. We see Kirk's Enterprise from the movies. So fucking cool. And all these are in pristine condition. The New Jersey. Oh, it's just
see a bird of prey, and they would never, ever would have allowed the cloaking device to remain inside there because that one of the first line in the treaty is you cannot use our fucking technology, and if you ever find it, you gotta give it back.
HMS Bounty from the whale thing, cloaking device mentioned, and I wrote here, and I'm sure people who aren't familiar with Star Trek are like, okay, so wait a minute. Why doesn't Starfleet cloak by now? We're in the future, so they've captured fucking cloaking devices. Why doesn't Starfleet cloak?
Because the Klingons and the Romulans say we will fucking go to war with you immediately if you
try to take our
technology. Right now, there's probably an uneasy peace going on in New Trek, and there's like, don't get to use our shit. And so I don't believe that there is a cloaking device that works at a museum.
And they're using it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they repurpose the cloaking device and in order to help them out. But so LaForge beams over with her sister, and her sister she's the loyal one. Not really much of a character here, poor girl. She's the one that's obedient, I guess. Yep. And well, I think try to give her something here where she teams up with Jack and her sister to help. They keep calling these legendary ships relics. So, motherfucker, they're not that old. God damn it. They're not relics yet. Okay, a relic would be the motherfucking International Space Station or something. Anyways, then when LaForge beams over, he says what the audience has said this whole fucking season, where it's like, I have submitted 3 memos to Starfleet, urgent memos, objecting to getting the entire Starfleet in one location. Yes, because it's fucking stupid. Starfleet has literally just been attacked with a terrorist attack, killing thousands of people. They're striking at the very heart of Starfleet, and motherfuckers are like, yeah, let's just put all our ships in one spot.
That's got to be the changelings. The changelings are doing it.
Yeah, force them.
So the changelings are even convincing the normal humans that this is a great idea, and not a single normal human except for LaForge is like, well, we probably shouldn't put all of our military assets in one location. And then that one captain walks in, pure fucking hubris. And then LaForge is like, oh, man.
All right, well, you win.
So gathering, and then they use Moriarty to guard the Daystrom station. He is not only the security system, he's also the manifest. And
It wasn't much of a security.
you can disable him if he likes you enough. And he liked you. He liked Riker enough, so you was able to disable him quite easily. We get flashbacks to young Riker, and he whistles to dissipate the threat. And he shares his tune with a dear friend, Data, who couldn't whistle worth a damn. LaForge, unwilling to put his family in danger. You know, the old LaForge would jump right into it with everybody.
He's a family man now.
He's a family man now, and he says, I can't do it. His daughters are quite disappointed in him, though, and she's like, I don't need you to protect me, goddammit. He's like, no, you're staying here on the museum with me. And she's like, no, this is my family. Like, he's like, you need to consider your family. She's like, but the crew is my family. And she's making really good points, and he's like, fuck, I'm a dick. So he gets his, fuck, I'm a dick moment. You know, Riker had his where it's like, no, I'm going to protect family, and I'm a fucking dick. Picard gets his, fuck, I'm a dick. But, you know, character growth, learning. That's when we realize that this is, in fact, Data. And he's like, God damn it, Data died twice. And he goes, this isn't our Data. Data copied himself onto B4. And we get a hologram explaining the whole thing. Song says, my golem gift to Picard. Then after that, I was going to build this other thing. This is my last project. So that was my other project. This is my last project. I think it's intended that he was going to live in the body, maybe. Mm-hmm. And then he decided, nah, that's a bad idea, bad science. I'll just make this really badass. And I'm going to combine them all. So, LOL, B4, lore, and a great deal of data. This time with wisdom and true human aesthetic of age. His final project, but he died before finishing it.
So he's a robot that rots and has planned obsolescence. So he's probably got an apple stamped on him somewhere. Because fuck that company.
Yeah, and he Starfleet fucked with him. Could be a future plot point if they ever spin the show off, and there could be another personality where it's like Starfleet, evil Starfleet, or something like that. But anyways, LaForge mentions that, you know, the daughter that's the pilot now was the hard one, you know, and they have a children, heart-to-heart talk about their children, must protect them. And then the Jack and sisters come up with that plan to take the cloaking device. I always wanted this, you know. I've always thought, you know, I'm a Star Trek nerd, and then I play the tabletops. I'm like, God damn it, I can't fucking cloak. Everybody gets to cloak but me. What would happen if we could just take one of those devices and cloak my own goddamn ship? And they do it in this, you know. I don't think the cloaking device can just simply be plugged in to the ship like that, but whatever. Yeah, we just have to do it. And so they do it, but they fuck it up. And they realize, oh, shit, we're under threat, you know. And finally, LaForge makes the decision to... she's like, I can't fucking do this. And he's like, but I can. And so then he kind of fixes it for them and helps them out. The ship cloaks. And I know, I hate, there has to be some shorthand, and I guess for some audiences, because obviously in the station with the Starfleet patrolling, you wouldn't jump right into the goddamn middle of it and then cloak, right? But it's shorthand for the audience, and they jump in, they cloak, and they said they never even saw us. Obviously, you would jump in further away and then cloak and then impulse drive over. But, right, holy shit! Oh, no, it's fine. That's not them.
I seen things? God damn.
Nope, it's not on my sensors. They're not there. Don't worry about it.
I could have sworn I saw big ass shit.
A little bit of a shorthand here, but I'll allow it. And so then... yeah, they what happens?
We go back into the heist. They're like, all right, we need to unplug him, hurry! And then they start. Like, I'm gonna buy you guys some time. Riker, no!
Everyone beams over except for Riker because he gets hit.
He's like holding him off.
Yeah,
and then he gets hit in the back with some stun stuff.
I think it's stun and transporter inhibitor. And yeah, so he gets hit, captured. They beam over. And, you know,
then Geordi sees
Data. Data. Because they had a very special relationship, Joe, because he's an engineer. He knows how to build things and stuff, and so super fascinating. So, and that was one big complaint from the other seasons, that Geordi never really got to interact with Data, who died, and I'm sure Geordi would want to be a part of that, or at least factor in that some way. So we get a little bit of a redemption here to do something like that. So at this point, I'm like, well, Riker gets captured. He's going to come back with Troy at the end, is what I was thinking in my head. And then Worf immediately says, I will find him. And then that's when Jack says he got some of his good traits from his father. And then LaForge mentions, so they're working on Data, and LaForge comes in, and she's like, why, she's like, don't use that one, use the other one, as if she knows what to use on fucking Data, but whatever. And she's like, why do you think I crashed all those ships? It's so that we can repair them and spend time with you.
This is like amateur shitty writing. Like you don't diminish the
stop diminishing.
You don't diminish
LaForge
to make the daughter awesome. You can make them both awesome. And if you don't know how to do that, then get the fuck out of a writing room, because these are awesome characters, and he's been working on Data for decades. It's just like, and there's ways that you can do it that we could come up with in 30 seconds.
Just simply be like, hand me that, and she's like, yeah,
but you're also going to need this, right? He goes, you're right. How did you know? And then like it's like, oh shit, they're both super brilliant and smart.
So smart.
And it's like, I love these characters. It's like, nah, Dad, you're an idiot. I know how to do it because I'm fucking passing you the torch.
Or she mentions the fact that, and I like this, that he's like, well, you were always crashing those. You weren't a very good pilot. And she goes, well, you weren't a very good pilot either yourself. You ended up in engineering. And honestly, the only reason why I was crashing those ships was to spend time with you. It was a nice moment there. Endearing. But they kind of messed this endearing one up with that writing. Yeah, and so now we all talk to Data. It's more human Data we all talk to. He wakes up and he's like, Captain and Geordi and then they're like, what was stolen? And he was like, I am Lord.
It was so bad.
I am before. And he's like, no, I am more. So that'll be the new name. You got Data, you got Lore, and you got More. Maybe we should call him More. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. More. So More wakes up and, tells them, he's like, what was stolen? Jean-Luc Picard. He's like, yes, that's my name. I'm Jean-Luc Picard. Jean-Luc Picard.
I kind of figured instantly because he called him Captain. And then
he called
like, Captain. He's like, what was stolen? I was like, what did they have? And I was like, oh, they took his body.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
You got it. And they shows, he's like, they ask him again, and he's like, God damn it, I already fucking told these idiots. Okay. And he does the motherfucking Ghostbusters eye thing.
You could do that before?
No, he couldn't do that before. Well, no, I don't think we've seen that effect. There's a new ability. Watch a movie. Data, can I watch a movie? We can watch together.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You'd be my best friend, too.
Right. I don't think. So then he shows it's the body of Picard. The changelings fucking stole it. And then we cut to Riker being tortured. Turns out to be that lady. Where did the Federation ships go? We already talked about that. And then she also captured Troy. Now, I was like, that's a genius move because Riker's not going to cooperate. So you capture Troy and his daughter too. Probably should have threw his daughter in there if she wants to be, but maybe Troy was able to hide the daughter real quick because she's clever too. But Troy gets captured. And then, if you think about it, it doesn't work because me and Alex noticed at the very beginning of the episode, and they set this up, the very beginning of the episode where she's going, Picard! We must find all of his relatives, all of his friends, and they mention that, and then Alex is like, aren't they all on Earth? Like,
or at least in Federation space. But
so she goes to Earth to fucking get Troy. Motherfucker, do you know, like, Earth is the most secure fucking place with all the fucking orbital defense platforms and motherfucking...
Super simple.
But, okay.
Changelings are in charge of everything, because there's not 40 of them, there's thousands.
Okay. All right, fine. We'll excuse it, because she didn't go there with the Shrike, the Shrek. She went there, using changelings who then smuggled Troy out, captured it. Fine, it makes sense. Okay.
They're like, hey, your husband's in trouble. Come with us.
No, they turn
bitch.
into her husband.
There you
and
go.
They turn him into Riker and be like, but she would no, because she doesn't do that. A beta.
That's not a plot hole. I fixed it right there.
A beta
So,
would know.
one,
She can sense feelings.
Once Worf rescues Riker somehow and bring him back, then we'll have everyone, and then we can fight back. Or everyone fights, and then simultaneously in the battle, Worf goes over, they fight, and then they win, and then they come back. I want them to be on one ship and then fight, and we'll.
But he's a pacifist.
Not anymore.
Oh,
He can't fight.
So we've got the whole TNG crew except for Yar and Wesley. I don't think. Shut up, Wesley. I don't think anybody cares about Wesley anymore. And Yar is a kind of a deep cut. She was in the first seasons, and then she got killed off. So they're not going to try to find a way to resurrect her or bring her back, or the Romulan version of Yar. Not probably Yar. Any remaining cameos that we can think of? I would love to see Janeway because I'm such a Voyager fan. I would also love to see Cisco. So, and I think there's higher potential for Cisco. Joe, shut the fuck up. Dong, da, dong, dong, dong.
I would love to see
You love to see
background
Cisco.
too.
Well, I think there's a high potential for Cisco because of the changeling and wormhole and prophets. It's similar.
The whole fleet's
God
at the same place.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gotta
maybe
be there somewhere.
I mean, Admiral Janeway would have to be there, and he's probably an Admiral too.
Yeah, maybe Janeway could be at the parade or something like that. All right. That's about, I think I covered everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote this down, but I didn't. I was like, I'm going to make sure I see this. Did Seven just dead name herself at the start of the episode? She referred to herself as Annika or something like that. I needed to go.
There was a Commander Hansen to
Commander Hansen, yeah.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't have done that. Maybe the writers fucking forgot, and that's weird because the writers had just made the point that she's like, I'm not goddamn Hansen, I'm fucking Seven, right? Mm-hmm. And then in the next episode, she's like, Commander Hansen here, or something. I need to go back and look at it exactly. Mm-hmm. Any other? There's one tease that I caught the second time around. Dad, what about Hangar Bay 12? Shut up. Not now. What do you think is in Hangar Bay 12 at the Fleet Museum? Joe, what do you think is in Hangar Bay 12?
Khan.
Huh? Khan? Joe, shut the fuck. Well, if we're talking about the Daystrom station, then yeah, maybe Khan's body or something.
They're keeping everyone's bodies. Montalbans, they're perfectly preserved.
No.
With his chest.
Oh,
Alex,
yeah.
what is in fucking Bay 12, do you think?
What would I don't know. What is in 12?
I think it's one of the I think it's Enterprise D. It could be Enterprise. We've already seen F in the trailers, so it could be Enterprise D, or it could be Enterprise F, and that's where they're keeping it. But why would it be in the museum?
They keep doing refits on everything, and they're like, "Oh, it's a refit, it's a rebuild," and it's like, "This is."
It can't be the Enterprise that you are thinking of, Joe, from TNG, because that crash landed and is not a thing anymore. So. And it can't be some of the Enterprises because over the years they've exploded and shit.
You think it was
I think it's either the D or the F.
I think they were just hinting at like there could be like even more cool stuff, but I don't know.
I think that's gonna pay off because like you can't do like this without a Galaxy class. We need a motherfucking Galaxy. I hope it's a Galaxy class. It probably is, F or something else, but I just want to see that classic fucking Galaxy class. They also said at some point that's the least popular model, so maybe he's able to get his hands on one because everybody likes them anymore. Apparently, bullshit. Everybody would be like, "That's the ship."
If they're keeping your fucking body
multiple times,
yeah, they're keeping everyone's fucking bodies. They're gonna keep these ships. And so it's not very popular. Man, fuck off. I'm Like, I'm serious, and I'm telling you now, I will give this entire series a 1. This entire fucking series a 1. If there's something hidden away in Picard's DNA and he's the chosen one and there's some fucking blood magic and it's passed down in his genes, because the worst thing, you cannot turn Star Trek into Star Wars. Star Wars is high fantasy. It's fantasy, it's not sci-fi.
Don't make Picard a chosen one.
I do not want him to be the fucking chosen one and there's something special in his blood. I mean, if they do something where they link it to something to do with the Borg, or he was exposed to a virus, or so, they explain it away. Yeah. But if I swear to God, it's like if there's he's a chosen being because of the seeded race or something, I will fucking give this series a 1.
Star Trek is supposed to be about your fucking intelligence, gumption. It's like anybody can be a chosen one. You know what I mean? Where it's like if you just fucking study and you fucking work problems out in a scientific way, in an intelligent way, using logic and reason, you could be a Picard too. You know, kind of thing. I don't want it to be, well, Picard is Picard because of his metachlorian counts. Yeah. Didn't you understand? No. That's why we need his fucking body, so we can get the metachlorians. God damn it. You're right, Alex. I'd be fucking pissed too. Well, we shall see in the next 4 episodes. We've got 4 episodes left, and my last point here is that, you know, the changeling villains, they kind of have a point to be mad at the Federation.
Fuck yeah.
So if you don't know this, maybe Joe, but the reason why they're so pissed is because let's imagine that you were a leader of an entire race, and your rivals decided to create a genetic virus that only targets you and kills all of your people.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
And then unleashes it on you. You'd be fucking pissed.
They gave you the cure later.
They gave you the cure later. After they beat your ass.
After you killed my whole family.
After I kill your whole family, right? So I'm like, maybe the changelings are the good guys here. No, they're not. They obviously were the ones that fought and started this bullshit. But I understand why they're fucking pissed off and they want fucking vengeance because you killed a lot of people.
I like that they addressed it. I like the shots
Worf was like, there's blame on both sides.
Yeah. Shaw was like, you created a lot of fucking radicals for very good reasons. Like, yeah, that is correct.
One final thing for reminding me, Shaw. Shaw does have an incredible amount of respect and geek out factor for one person. Not for Riker, not for Picard. Who is it? Geordi.
He's an engineer himself.
Why do
you... He watched Reading Rainbow too.
Yes.
Grease monkey.
I love LeVar. So good.
He watched Reading Rainbow and he was a grease monkey. And fucking LaForge is the best of all of the engineers. He can he's MacGyver. And he can take a match and a fucking I don't know, paper clip and
cloaking device
and some dilithium
make it into
and create warp 11, warp 12.
This one goes to 11.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Thank y'all so much. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how it ends, but also a little worried that they're doing a chosen one thing with Picard's bloodline. Let's not do any bloodline stuff. That sucks.
Yeah, we got the crew. Let's pick it up.
Yeah. The bloodline is okay in generational things where it's like, hey, this is the next generation. These are younger people. We'll do a spinoff series. Normally, I hate that, but so far, you're kind of doing all right with Jack, and I wouldn't mind. So as long as he's supported by supporting characters like Riker, if you keep Riker around, you keep Worf around, Seven, and Jack, I would watch that. What I wouldn't watch is Raffi and Worf adventures on their own. Section 31, no thanks. Anyways, that's it so far. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next Angry Joe Show. Bye, guys.